The future of WWE Off The Script has arrived. What am I talking about? We'll find out in a little bit. But I want to thank each and every one of you for your continued love and support. Happy 4th of July weekend. Thank you for joining me in what is a new era here on my channel for WWE Off The Script. Thank you guys very much. This one's for you, and I'll see you in a little bit. What do you guys think of the new format for Off The Script? You guys were very vocal. You guys want this show to succeed more than I do. I listened to your guys' opinions, and I had shit done. And I want to thank one of my guys, one of my subs. Eternal Pig is what he goes by on Twitter. I want you guys to go subscribe to him and tell him how much of a biblical beast he is. I thank him for this new layout. This is the future of WWE Off The Script, guys. This is the #1 source for WWE content right here on YouTube.com. We're better than Sean's View. We're better than Bruce Blitz. We're better than Tubby Emu. We're better than CM Pulse. That's how confident I am in my WWE content. This is the best talk show, the best show on YouTube.com for your WWE needs. So thank you guys very much. Happy 4th of July. Thank you for joining me today, 4th of July. Hope you guys enjoy what I got in store for you. If you guys missed WWE Off The Script last week and my Monday Night Raw review for the Fallout show for WWE Money in the Bank, and if you missed my Money in the Bank review and results, all that stuff is down in the description below. Make sure to go check that out. And as always, CSR at WrestleZone.com. Share Reality, LaBar, Eisenberg, and Ghoulish. They got shit planned for 4th of July weekend, so make sure you go check them out. Tell them JD sent you. Alright guys, now, ton of news following Money in the Bank. Ton of news. I'm going to cover the whole Emma situation as well. I'm not going to cover it in this episode or this part because, you know, everybody's pretty much covered it. She was fired for theft at Walmart for a iPad case or iPod case, iPhone case, whatever, for $21. So stupid. And then she was rehired because someone in WWE kind of jumped the gun a little bit. But I'll talk about it in part 2. I will give you guys my opinion on it. I'm glad that she's rehired, but I don't think this bodes well for the career of Emma. But what I got in store for you guys today, the big story in part 1, why did John Cena, the most hated man in wrestling, why did John Cena beat out Daniel Bryan for the WWE 2K15 cover? I was wondering that myself when I seen the unveiling on Monday Night Raw. But according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, regarding John Cena getting the cover of WWE 2K15, he was never and had never been thought of for a singular cover for WWE 2K and their video game franchise, but was due for one. With the game being on 4 different consoles this year, the feeling is that they have a big opportunity to increase numbers, and Cena, not Bryan, is more known, plus people who hate Cena are going to buy the game anyway. This is according to reports. Apparently, Bryan was in consideration for the cover at one point, but the decision to put Cena on the cover was made long before Bryan was hurt, and long before they decided to have him win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 30. I don't agree with this at all. I understand why they're doing it. I understand the business aspect of it. But if you had one guy in the past year who has personified and has shown you what the WWE is all about, the one guy who has captivated audiences and made people actually care about him and invest in the character of Daniel Bryan and the storyline that he was in way before whatever happened at WrestleMania 30. It is Daniel Bryan. I don't agree with the choice. I think Daniel Bryan would have been a much better choice for the WWE 2K15, but I do understand the business aspect of it to choose John Cena. I also have more news on why John Cena was chosen. Listen to this. WWE was pushing at Money in the Bank pay-per-view and on Raw that John Cena is now the 15-time WWE champion, or world champion, whatever. He's not 15-time WWE champion, he's 15-time world champion combined, mixed of the WWE and World Heavyweight Championships when those two titles were split. The reason for that, the reason for them mentioning 15-time champion, is because they want to push him. And you guys are going to hate me for this. Don't hate the messenger. This is what's been reported on the Wrestling Observer newsletter, paid subscription. The reason for that is because they want to push him as the greatest champion of all time, which I know he is not. Okay, I know you guys know that. I know it. Everyone knows it. If you believe John Cena is the greatest champion of all time, you need to stop watching wrestling because you have absolutely no valid opinions. Okay, he is just one away from Ric Flair's 16 World Championships. Also, his 15th World title reign coincides with him being on the cover of WWE 2K15. That is not a coincidence. That was all done by design. Although there were rumblings that WWE was thinking of doing a swerve at the Money in the Bank show on Sunday, the deal is that the company was always going to go with Cena, and there were actually no plans or considerations for anyone else other than Cena. The plans were already set in stone for Cena to win the world title. In fact, the company decided on Cena as soon as they knew that they were going to take the title off Daniel Bryan, and that decision never changed. The late changes in the betting odds on Sunday actually came from predictions from the guy on Reddit, so it looks like there may have been some issues with his source, or he's being swerved because he used to be very good with predictions. So there you got it, guys. John Cena was always the choice to be WWE World Heavyweight Champion. When Daniel Bryan was hurt, and he was announced hurt, and they stripped him, WWE immediately knew John Cena was going to be your WWE Champion. I know you don't like it. I don't like it, but for the sake of storyline, it makes sense. And for you guys, you fucking clowns out there, oh, JD, it's too predictable. Listen to Jim Ross's podcast this week. I want you guys to listen to Jim Ross's podcast this week. Okay, he talks about the same fucking thing. Because people crying about Roman Reigns and him being predictable. He's going to be the next John Cena. He's leading the charge to, capture the WWE Championship eventually at WrestleMania 31. That's what everyone is saying, right? So Jim Ross was on his podcast this week with UFC Bantamweight Champion Ronda Rousey, and he said about the John Cena situation and it being predictable, and the Roman Reigns situation being predictable with him, possibly fighting Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 31, which I have news on tomorrow, is that it may be predictable, but it's logic, okay? And then he dates back to WrestleMania 14. Was it predictable when Stone Cold Steve Austin fought Shawn Michaels for the WWE Championship, or then the WWF Championship at WrestleMania 14 in the main event, when Shawn Michaels had fucking how many bulging discs in his back, yet he still put on an amazing fucking performance? Was it predictable then that Steve Austin was going to win? Did you have a problem with it then? No, right? You don't have a problem with it then. But now you got a problem with John Cena being the WWE Champion. You guys got to think a little bit. Got to think a little bit. Logic. It's all temporary. For you guys complaining, it's all temporary. Lesnar's going to be your new WWE Champion. Why? Because it's logic. It makes sense. I've said this once. I said this 1,000 times. Lesnar will be your WWE Champion. Cena is only a placeholder. Why? Because he's the safest bet. Leave it at that, okay? WWE decided to give John Cena the WWE Championship as soon as they knew Daniel Bryan was being stripped, while Bray Wyatt may have been one of the leading candidates to win the ladder match at Money in the Bank. He was never even considered for a WWE Championship reign right now, which I agree with, and I believe is the right choice. Bray Wyatt is definitely a future WWE Champion, but right now is not the time. I don't see Bray Wyatt being a WWE Champion anytime in the near future. Maybe a year from now, but right now, he doesn't even need the title, because why? He's the most engaging and the most, authentic character that WWE has on their programming right now. He's different. He doesn't need a title to be over. He's super over in whatever role he's playing. If he's a face, if he's a heel, if he's an in-betweener, he's over. So he doesn't necessarily need the title. He's always going to be there. He's always going to be involved at the top of the card. But, I I thought Bray Wyatt was a legit choice to win it. He's got the makings of a WWE champion, but right now is not the right time. Same goes for Roman Reigns. Same goes for Cesaro. It's not their time. So Bray Wyatt was never even considered. I noted earlier this month, okay, that The Undertaker, I always mention The Undertaker, you guys don't want him at the top of the story lines anymore, which is understandable. But I do have news on The Undertaker. Undertaker is still in rough shape after WrestleMania 30 and his match against Brock Lesnar. And while The Undertaker has been in the gym working out, he told some people that it wasn't looking good right now for WrestleMania 31. PW Insider also confirms the report that Taker is still in bad shape and really banged up from suffering the concussion at WrestleMania 30 in the match with Brock Lesnar. Taker's status for next year is still up in the air, and there will be no confirmation at all on when he will return until later this year. So there you got it. News on The Undertaker. I want him back. Everybody wants him back. I want the match against Sting. I want Sting to finally make his debut. I want that epic encounter for WrestleMania 31. But the only one who knows if it's going to happen is The Undertaker. So that's the latest on him. Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman was on Chris Jericho's podcast. I did listen to part 1 and part 2. Amazing fucking listen if you guys want to go check that out. Podcast1.com. Go check it out. Chris Jericho's Talk is Jericho. Paul Heyman actually appeared on that, like I just said, Talk is Jericho with Chris Jericho and Edge, and commented on The Undertaker's streak ending at WrestleMania 30. He compared the situation to when Ivan Koloff pinned Bruno Sammartino in Madison Square Garden in 1971. You could hear a pin drop when it happened because everyone was in such shock. Like Bruno, Lesnar told Heyman that he thought he had lost his hearing when the referee made the 3 count and the match was over. That's got to be an amazing feeling that Lesnar felt when he was at WrestleMania 30. You'll never see anything like that ever again. I'm sure Lesnar in his professional career will never even be through anything like that ever again. So that's pretty interesting. I figured I'd share that with you guys. If you missed Talk is Jericho with Heyman and Edge, absolutely phenomenal listen. Go check that out. Stephanie McMahon was praised backstage for how she looked during the second coming, or how she looked like the second coming of Vince McMahon on Raw in the segments with Vicky Guerrero. She did play it well, but that whole segment with the mud pool and, them, tossing referees and divas into the mud, a little bit, too much for me. But it is what it is. Vicky Guerrero got a nice send-off. Daniel Bryan's return to TV was announced last Monday for the Money in the Bank pre-show, which happened on Sunday. The feeling at Raw among some of the wrestlers, and this pisses me off to no end, was that some of the wrestlers thought Bryan, or think Bryan, is no longer seen as someone that officials want to put back in the main event right away. It was said that someone like John Cena, Batista, or Triple H wouldn't be brought on a pre-show, or wouldn't be brought back on a pre-show in such a minimal role. There's also a feeling within WWE that Bryan's bubble has popped, so to speak. It's also said that there are definitely higher-ups who feel that Bryan got injured, or who feel when Bryan got injured when they needed him the most, so they're more hesitant to let him run with the ball. Furthermore, there are also people who still bring up how Bryan was scheduled to face Sheamus at WrestleMania 30 at one point until CM Punk quit the company, and WWE gave that push to Bryan because they had no other choice. So there's a lot wrong with this story. Number one, Bryan is always going to be a top guy. I don't give a fuck who you are. If you don't believe that notion, you should stop watching fucking wrestling. Number one. Number two, the people who are bringing Bryan's name up and the thought that he was scheduled to face Sheamus at WrestleMania 30 obviously are probably not fans of Daniel Bryan. So I wouldn't even read read into that too much because those people are absolute fucking clowns. The fact that CM Punk quit the company forced WWE to push Daniel Bryan. I do understand that fact, and that is legit true. Okay? But Bryan's bubble being popped, I don't think so. When Bryan makes his return, I think he's going to be bigger than ever. I honestly think he's going to be bigger than ever. He still gets the yes chance when he comes out. He had an amazing reaction at the Money in the Bank pre-show with Bo Dallas. So I don't know what the WWE is talking about. I don't know who made this story up or who is speaking such filth here. But Bryan is and will be back in the WWE title picture. Why? Because he proved to you that he can do it. And the neck injury is a product of him wrestling in Japan and Ring of Honor and the style that he sets forth in the ring every time he steps foot in that squared circle. It's a product of it being built up over years and years. So you're telling me that WWE is going to blame him for his wrestling style, which ultimately got him known? No, that's completely fucking ludicrous to me. Okay, Daniel Bryan is a top performer in the WWE. He will be a top performer coming back when he makes his return, and he should be given the right to be WWE champion again. I don't want to hear this that the WWE is hesitant about giving him the ball, you know, because he's injury prone. No, he's not injury prone. Okay, so I don't want to hear none of that. Daniel Bryan is always going to be a top star, and more people than not want to see Daniel Bryan in that position. Okay, certainly more than John Cena, certainly more than Batista, or certainly more than Triple H, since those were the three names mentioned. So that's the latest on Daniel Bryan, which is, I think, a crock of shit. So I wouldn't even read into that. If WWE wants to keep Daniel Bryan relevant, they have to showcase him on TV here and there. They can't have him sit out. And the likelihood of another surgery is possible, but I won't know anything on that for the next couple of weeks. So I will definitely keep you guys posted on that. Dean Ambrose has been receiving a lot of praise backstage for his recent promo work, and now has been getting over, and how he's been getting over without the Shield. Dean Ambrose has been unbelievable. I love the intensity he brings. I love his promo style. I can't wait to see more of him. And Dean Ambrose is showing you why he's going to be one of the best singles guys to come out of the Shield. A lot of you guys like Seth Rollins better. I've always thought Dean Ambrose was, you know, the dark horse there. Seth Rollins actually proved to you that, you know, he should not be mistaken in the Shield. He should not be overlooked. And he certainly proved that with his, you know, his antics in the later stages in the Shield. He was very, you know, he had a lot going on there. You know, high flying. He was showing off that he can actually wrestle better than, you know, Ambrose and Roman Reigns. I like Rollins in his role as a heel. Ambrose in his role as a face has been phenomenal. I like Roman Reigns in the role he's playing. I think the WWE is actually making him a threat. They're making him look good. They're carefully building Roman Reigns up as the next big thing, and I like the way that they're handling him. But as for all three members, I think they're doing a phenomenal job, and that is your future in the WWE. So I look forward to seeing more of Dean Ambrose. And I know he's a natural heel, but in the role he's playing now, as the one going after Seth Rollins as the babyface, I can't wait till he gets his hands on Rollins, man. It's going to be unbelievable when that actually happens. It could potentially steal the show at SummerSlam if they want to book it for SummerSlam in August. There's a feeling amongst the WWE right now, at least one top star in the WWE, that the increase in eye poke injuries is because WWE has been pushing talents to be more aggressive in the ring. This has led to people rushing their work, which leads to sloppiness in the ring and more eye pokes, potato shots, black eyes, concussions, and things like that, separated shoulders, which happened to Wade Barrett. Talents are also working with the idea of barely missing on strikes. The idea is to throw strikes really hard and fast, but just miss, which has led to an increase in injuries. That's what's been going on right now in the WWE. I figured I'd let you guys know in on that. And finally, there has already been talk of reuniting Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose as the Shield in late 2015 or 2016. The idea is that they could bring them back together every few years like D-Generation X. I am completely over that. I don't even want to be talking about 2015, 2016 yet. Take it 1 month at a time. Let these characters build their characters individually and just worry about what's going on right now. Forget about thinking so far ahead. That's way too far ahead, and I don't even want to see the Shield back together. You know, it's going to be a completely different time. They're all going to be in completely different places at that point, so I wouldn't even be interested in seeing anything like that. I think right now is what's best. They're individualized. Rollins is Rollins, Ambrose is Ambrose, and Reigns is Reigns. I look forward to seeing each of these guys, all three of these guys, work their way up the top of the card and develop their brand. It's going to be absolutely exciting to see, and I can't wait to see what unfolds for all three guys. But that is your WWE Off The Script, guys, for part 1. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you love the new format. Let me know what you think down below. In part 2, I got Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Is that the plan right now for WrestleMania 31? And plus, Night of Champions plans that WWE is making Night of Champions absolutely stacked. I'll tell you what's going on in their plans for that in part 2, guys. Let me know what you think down below. I'm out. Happy 4th of July, and I'll see you guys in part 2. Until then, take care. This is the #1 source for WWE right here on YouTube.com. I'll see you guys later.